happy. I'm poor, but I'm kind. I'm short, but I'm healthy. Yeah. I'm high, but I'm grounded. I'm sane, but I'm overwhelmed. I'm lost, but I'm hopeful, baby.
I went to the opposite end of the spectrum for a while, and I wouldn't even dress up to this extent. Like, I just was a complete bum, and I just basically rebelled in my own little way against what I was and what I felt I should have been when I was younger. And I was giving in very much to what I felt society expected of me when I was younger. I wasn't prepared really to just stand my ground, I think, when I was younger. And then now I'm finding a happy sort of medium as to where I want to be and how much I want to conform to. It's sort of my choice. And I feel stronger and more peaceful now than I ever have in my whole life. It's the best place to be, and I highly recommend people figuring life out and themselves out and communicating and breaking down and hitting rock bottom.
You live, learn, you laugh, you learn, you cry, you laugh, you laugh, you bleed, you learn, you scream, you
Did you have to leave Canada to find yourself creatively?
Yes.
Why?
I say yes only in retrospect. At the time, I didn't know I had to leave Canada. I think I say yes because I met Glenn Ballard and because I tapped into the creative energy down there. It could have happened up here, it just didn't. So I don't know if it has anything necessarily to do with the different mindsets or different cultures, and it truly is a different culture. I didn't realize how much of a change it would be, but there's a certain potency and vitality down there that I never felt anywhere else. And just people down there are a lot more forthright, the people that I was working with in the circles that I was spending a lot of time with. So I think I did have to leave, yes.
Don't you know, things will change, things will go your way, if you hold on for one more day, if you hold on for one more day.
I wrote with a lot of different writers, both in Los Angeles and in Toronto, and in New York, actually, and just didn't connect with them. Just became disheartened with the whole collaborative process, but I had faith for whatever reason. And when I met Glenn, he was just really open and non-judgmental, smart, creative, and we were on the same musical wavelength, so it connected.
Which songs then survive today?
All of them.
Did they?
I mean, we started, the songs were written right on the spot, and lyrics, music recorded right then and there, so 80% of this record is the original demos.
And then when you recorded as close to first time as you could? Or?
First time, right then and there. All the vocals are all the first takes. I didn't redo any vocals. We overdubbed a few of the guitars here and there, and in songs like Forgiven, we brought in different guitarists for it. But
because the songs deserved it, and that's what you felt was best?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even our original demos for those songs that we did, in fact, do overdubs on are still fine, you know.
Did you change the lyrics once you wrote them down the first time?
No. I didn't want to change anything. It didn't need to be changed. I figured we sort of became ruthless in our approach in that we, if something didn't write itself, if something wasn't being channeled, then we would throw it out. We just wanted to capture the spirit and not have to redo it or retake anything, because to me nowadays it's about emotion and honesty as opposed to technical perfection.
I've never felt this healthy before. I've never wanted something rational. I am aware now. I am aware now.
I'd listen to some of the songs the next day and not even remember having done them or written them or anything, and I know that it was a real subconscious thing, and it actually was so humbling because because of my analytical nature, that was the first time that I couldn't explain something. I couldn't figure out how it all came to be and the way that it all happened. To this day, I shake my head in disbelief when I talk to Glenn about it too. It's like, we don't know what happened. And we aren't going to begin to analyze it because you really can't.
I know the version of me. Is she perverted like me?
I freaked out when I heard that song. And I went, who is this? I thought maybe the Cranberries, because she has that yodel thing, you know, and I thought, who is this? And I went back to Ben and I said, I heard the coolest shit on the radio. And then when I saw her video, I went, I saw the coolest video. And then it turns out to be this kid from Ottawa that I used to hate, you know?
Did you forget about me? Duplicity. I hate to fuck you in the middle of dinner. There was a slap in the face. How quickly I was replaced. And I was thinking of me when you
For about a week or so, I expressed my fear with, I guess, how forthright everything was to Glenn, my collaborator, and he and I talked about it, and I talked myself out of being afraid of being that honest, because I guess the alternative was to censor things and to tell half-truths. Yeah. And I vowed to myself that I'd never do that again.
The joke that you made in the bed that was made, and I'm not gonna fade as soon as you close your eyes. And you know it.
How about the individual that you ought to know is all about? Is there a feeling that this is almost your revenge, the success of your single?
It's sick. It's so twisted. It's twisted. I have no idea. And you know what the ironic thing is? I don't even think he knows that this song is about him.
And maybe it's better he doesn't.
You know what? I think it is, because the last thing I want to do is to be that vindictive. I did it for my own reasons, and I see no reason to drag the people that some of these songs are about through the mud with me. You know, it's not their problem. It's mine.
But with that song, there is this feeling that almost, just the visual that might come across is that you're almost a fatal attraction kind of gal, you know?
Who isn't?
Yeah.
At one point in your life, everyone is, I think. Everyone has that codependent sort of, you make me feel worthy, and without you, I am nothing. And hopefully people grow out of it, and I have. You know, but I think it's at one point, whether you're 12 or whether you're 30, I mean, at some point, I think everybody is obsessed or infatuated with somebody.
Remind me of the mess you left when you went away. It's not fair to deny me of the cross I bear that you gave to me. You ought to know.
I think if you listen to the record as a whole, it's pretty balanced. You know, there's the subconscious, there's the emotion, then there's the rational sort of evolved self in there too. I mean, if you were to listen to one song and isolate it, I think it could be a little scary, yes.
There's a real sense of you're going to hit big time here.
It's starting to look pretty overwhelming, really. But I insulate myself with people that I love, and oddly enough, I spend more time on my own now than I ever have. So I'm hoping to keep all this in perspective. I feel confident about where I am right now, and I have no idea where it's going to go. I'm just my role right now is just to keep writing and creating and performing what I feel. You know, and the external sort of part of it, I mean, I even go as far as sort of telling my manager not necessarily to tell me where it is on the charts or how many pieces are being sold, because that's not why I do it. I mean, it's interesting, and I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel good to have people really respond. It does, but it's not my priority by any means. I just somehow wish that shows like this could be less about competition and more about the acknowledgement and acceptance and celebration of our artistic differences. So maybe someday it will.
Would you forgive me, love, if I didn't sit in your shower? Would you forgive me, love, if I laid in your bed?
I think as soon as my mindset changed to realizing that artists are the diamonds and the jewels, not just me, but every artist, and that record companies and the industry in and of itself are merely trying to find a way to communicate it to people, you know, so that you don't have to play on a street corner if you don't want to. Some people do want to. I have friends that don't want to do anything other than play on street corners. But if you want to communicate to a lot of people, then there are ways to do that, and that's why the business exists. And once I realized that, and just got away from everything and wrote whatever I wanted to, that was the moment that everything changed for me.